the less developed countries are more vulnerable to the effects of climate change, but also have limited resources and options to prevent it. This is why this is the duty of the more developed nation to help and to fund to prevent climate change, or else it could be a big threat. The goal of the less developed countries is to keep the global warming growth under 1.5 degrees Celsius or below 400 ppm. The GHG concentration below 400 ppm. It also the developed countries have to work together and include at least $100 billion to support environmental change.
Now, the LDC fashion supports a model of differentiated responsibility in which each country contributes what they can based on how responsible they were for causing climate change. This way, all countries will do their fair share in combating the climate change. So although Western nations, other industrialized nations, are far more responsible for emissions, they don't want to contribute as much as developing nations like China and India. However, because they are more responsible for climate change, they must be willing to contribute more in order to prevent it. Now, the treaty must be effective. It must be strong, transparent, and adaptive. Now, the goal should be to achieve the aforementioned demands, and the treaty must be legally binding to ensure its success. In order to hold countries accountable, they must be transparent with their actions and progress. Countries should report data to an independent body to be recorded. This will provide a way to measure global progress in climate mitigation and ensure that each country is doing their part in combating climate change. The differential responsibility model requires that countries utilize all their capabilities. However, if a country develops and changes its capability to combat climate change, their responsibility must change as well. So the requirements on each nation must be adaptable as they continue to develop and industrialize.
Many countries consider the treaty not effective and prefer to pursue short-term goals. However, if this issue is not treated seriously, this could have a humanitarian effect, the economy effect, the devastating effects for LDCs. Also, LDCs are growing. LDCs population is growing rapidly, and many of these people live in really poor conditions, and their life could be really endangered. While many judge environmental protection as not worth the cost, damage to infrastructure, population displacement could be a devastating effect or consequence on the LDCs.
Now, Tanzania is especially threatened by climate change. The majority of our fresh water is supplied by mountain glaciers that will melt if temperature increases by more than 2 degrees Celsius, leading to many without access to drinking water. Wells are also a major source of fresh water. However, rising sea levels are bringing salt water into these wells, rendering them useless. As a result, people of Tanzania will soon be facing a famine if nothing is done. Now, although we are at such risk, Tanzania has few options to prevent this from happening. A solution would require collective effort. This is why the treaty must meet our demands. The nation here must cooperate. Otherwise, Tanzania will be suffering for the actions of others.
The Maldives, being a small population living on a couple of islands, are really threatened by climate change, and especially sea level rising. If we don't do anything about climate change, the sea level, the islands of the Maldives might be completely submerged by 2100, the year 2100. This would create a danger in the population of the Maldives and would force them to move somewhere else. An alternative, one solution, is the Homeland Development Corporation, which is an artificial futuristic island that is made to only for to house the people of the Maldives. But the only problem is they don't know who can fund it. The goal is for Japan to fund it in the future.
Now, less developed countries like Tanzania and the Maldives stand to lose the most from climate change. If we fail to agree to a strong treaty, it will result in devastation for these countries. It would be tantamount to this nation's here sacrificing the less developed countries of the world. However, if we agree to adapt a strong and binding treaty where each country works fairly, much of the damage could still be averted. We know that climate change is occurring. We know the damage it could do. However, this is an opportunity to prevent that, so let's not waste this.